Well, I'd like to welcome everybody onto today's Spotlight interview. This is what I do every single month, and I'm really excited for this interview because I have got two people that have done some phenomenal things over the years with Relive. They are four times platinum directors with Relive. Helped so many people in their health and their finances, top income earners in the company. And so it is my pleasure to welcome onto the Spotlight interview Joe and Carol Felger. Hey, Joe, Carol, how you doing?
Hey, great
Doing
to
great.
Excellent, excellent. I'm so excited to have you on the interview. I've been looking forward to this all week, and I know that you're going to share a lot of value with the guys that are watching. But I know there's a lot of people that do know you, but there's going to be some new people that may not be familiar with your story. And so, could you just take us back to the beginning? What got you involved with Relive?
Yeah, we actually, Relive's products are absolutely amazing, but we didn't come in from that standpoint. And a friend of ours knew that Carol and I were looking for a change in lifestyle because my job kept me busy. I worked nights, weekends, and holidays. And Carol worked during the day during the week as a dental hygienist. Well, I'd get home, Carol'd be asleep. I'd get up in the morning. Carol'd be at work. She'd get home at night, and I'm at work. And she'd come and sit with me because what I did is I ran the movies when you went to the movies. And she could come and sit there with me, but that's not much of a lifestyle. And we started looking around at conventional businesses. I have no university training. I have no background in business. So if we were going to do a business, we needed somebody to teach us. And to us, that was the definition of a franchise. So that's where we looked. And what we learned by just talking to other franchise owners is that they're very expensive. They often fail. And really your worst nightmare is that they don't fail because then you've got a business where you're babysitting teenagers because that's mostly who you hire 7 days a week, 14, 15 hours a day. And it was a friend of ours whose children had gotten great results with the products, who knew we were looking for a business. Carol and I did not understand this type of business. We'd had friends that had kind of gone down that road, but I don't know whether they just weren't committed or they were in the wrong company, but we never saw any of them make money. So, I had to replace a very serious income. And, but he just kept talking to us. He was so passionate that this was what we were looking for. And at that time, we had live meetings. That's all changed since COVID. But, we finally went out to one of those live meetings and it just turned everything around for us. And really, what it was the quality of the people in the room, the stories, and not just the health stories. Remember, we were looking for a business. And we saw people that were walking away from very successful businesses because they wanted more time with their families. Everybody wants a better lifestyle.
Mm.
And we're only given one way to earn a living when we're growing up. Go to school, get good grades, get out of school and get a good job.
Mm.
I missed out on that because I didn't get good grades. But you know what? We got excited. And what we loved about this is that the coaching that we were looking for in a business, and we were about to pay $250,000 for that. The coaching in this it's there. And it's because the way the compensation plan works. People are rewarded for working with you. And that was another big thing for Carol and I. We kind of prejudged this industry that it was about throwing people up against the wall to see who sticks and kind of a usury type business.
Mm.
Nothing could be further from the truth with Relive. It's absolutely amazing. Our first month, because of that coaching, we were able to earn $1,500. Our second month, we went to months, and we had 9 distributors at the time. We took 2 of them with us. We were kicking ourselves the whole weekend because we had protected some of those other distributors. We didn't know what to expect. And we came home with so much passion, and the people that went with us came home with that passion. And out of those 9 distributors, 6 of them are coaches. Those I'm still getting used to the coach distributor thing, but 6 of those went to master affiliate from Quick Starts, and that created enough volume. We earned the #1 bonus, so we made $3,500 in bonus, and we made another 3,000 in retail and wholesale because we were still out talking to people, especially after that conference. We were even more passionate. And so I called my union, took them to fall. Little did I know that was going to be a regular pattern. The next month, without a bonus, overrides started kicking in, retail, wholesale overrides. We made over $4,000. And so I took another month off. And I did that for 7 months. And then I had to make a decision. I needed to work 3 months out of the next year, and I would have had a pension that I had worked 20 years for. And you know what? Just didn't want to do it. I went back and tried it for a few weeks, and I called my union and said, I can't do this. I have found something that I really enjoy that's changing people's lives in 2 major areas. And, I walked away. At that point, in all forms of income, we were probably making around $8,000 in all forms, retail, wholesale, and overrides. But 16 months from the time we started the business, we actually hit presidential director. And Jason, the reason for that was we used that success system that's there for us to use. You can't beat it. You just it's like going to see a great movie, getting excited about the movie. You go tell your friends about it, your family about it, and then just bringing them to see the movie. And you enjoy the movie. I think watching them enjoy the movie, I think you enjoy it more than you did, when you were just there yourself. We've now built a business that's paid us more money than we ever dreamed of. But you know what? The biggest thing for me, and I'm going to have Carol share a little bit about the lifestyle, but the biggest thing for me is that in the last 34 years, I have spent more time with Carol than people that have been married 68 years. How do you put a price on that? No business, no conventional business is going to give you that kind of opportunity.
Wow, powerful.
It's an amazing lifestyle too, Jason. In a word, I would say it's freedom. There's 2 ways that people need to be healthy. Obviously, our products is the driving force of it, but the other thing is people can die from the inside out, and a lot of problems on the inside, and a lot of, actually, to be frank with you, money issues cause health issues. Stress is a big issue. So we see it as the whole package with it, but the lifestyle is incredible. So we're passionate about both sides of this incredibly, and I like putting money in people's pockets. It allows them to make the kind of choices they want to make, not what their bank account's going to dictate that they can or can't do. And so the freedom part of it, and like Joe said, to work together is an amazing, fun experience. The people that we've met and helped and worked together, we kind of thought at one point that, we just earn the income and retire. But it's something that is kind of, to me, the essence of life when you're helping other people, especially in those 2 major areas. I would say nobody ever called me back in tears thanking me as a dental hygienist, but they do it all the time in this business, and we'll never retire.
Wow, that's a powerful story. That is really powerful. But if Carol, if you take us back to the early days, what was some of the early challenges that you had, or the biggest challenges that you faced, and how did you push through them?
I think probably maybe understanding people. You know, we tend to say that people are the same grid as what we are. And we were excited. And I think maybe one of the first things is that I expected, I went to my mom, was one of the first people that I went to. And I expected it to be an easy yes. And she turned me down flat. She said no, and I couldn't believe it. But one of the benefits of what we call the system, where you're exposed to the reality, and even though we were new, we only had a few bricks in our wall of belief at that point. Not really even our own results, but just the weight of evidence of what we've seen from other people. It just came out of my pores because of that. I just said, Mom, I don't want to go and help strangers before I help you. And that wasn't salesy, that was a passion from the heart. And I guess kind of learned a couple things to speak from the heart. And that's what connects people. They buy you before they buy anything else
Mm.
that you're talking about. And my mom turned around and she not only I shared the whole picture with her, and I actually thought that building this business we'd be able to help my mom because she was a widow and worked hard all of her life. But my mom got started in her 60s. She went on to become a bronze ambassador with us. She earned between $6,000 and $8,000 a month, most money that she's ever earned in her life. With the products, she outlived all her other brothers and sisters that weren't on the products. And so an incredible turnaround. But I think the people education, our mentor, Pat Rogers, said, you know, Joe and Carol, you do this. You literally can do anything in life because you're going to get a PhD on people. And that's so true. And so what we kind of began to understand is that people are people. And what we get paid for is a people search business, which means not everybody sees it. It's true in any opportunity. Not everybody sees whatever opportunity you want to mention. Cell phones, gosh, there's some funny things online that talk about, you know, some of the celebrities, but we're told that they'd never make it, and they're huge stars.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing I think is was that, but because of the system, because of the mentorship, we were able to grow in that area.
Okay. Were there any specific, was there a specific moment or a specific season in your business where you saw things shift in terms of how your business started to grow?
You
Okay.
going to answer that, Carol?
I'll give you an opportunity. How's that? And then I'll jump in.
Well, you know, it actually started happening pretty quickly, and that's because when the day after that meeting, we went and sat down with Pat Rogers, who was our coach. And one of the last things he said to us as we walked out of there, he said, "Don't make the mistake most new coaches make. Don't go out and try to do this by yourself. At the beginning, your job is just to bring people to me, put people in front of me." And I said, "Pat, no problem. I'll do that." And but you know what? It's like an alien takes over your body sometimes, and you don't really understand when you're new. So we're on our ride home after the meeting with Pat. We're both higher than a kite. We're excited. We were just getting into cell phones at that time, and I called my friend down in Indiana who I'd grown up with, and I said, "Bob, you know, we've talked about being in business, you know, all through our childhood, being in business together, and this would be amazing." And you know, I told him my mom's results because my friend had gotten my mom started with the products when I was still being a jerk with him, and and he knew my mom. He practically lived at our house growing up. And so then he had a few questions. And I'm just setting the appointment, like Pat said. And but they were simple questions. I'd been to a Tuesday night. We'd talked to Pat for a couple hours. And these were simple questions. So I just answered the simple questions. And then he had another question, and they were simple, so I answered those. And then he had another question, and it was simple, so I answered that. And 40 minutes later, we pull up in front of our house, and we're about to get out of the car, and he said, "You know, Joe, I don't think I could do this." I, I was, I was like a lot of people. This is my best friend. He'd stand in front of a truck for me, I would for him, and that's no exaggeration. We're close. And it stunned me. And I walked in the house. I got on a landline, and I called Pat. This is back in 1992. We actually had landlines. And I called Pat, and I said, Pat, I don't think Carol and I can do this. Pat said, he kind of hesitated for a minute. He said, "Well, Joe, you sure thought you could 40 minutes ago. What in the world could happen in 40 minutes? And I, told him about my friend, and, he said, "Well, you answered all of his questions, and so you did the appointment." And that's what I kind of warned you about. And I said, "Pat, I'm going to call up my best friend, tell him I've found the business of a lifetime. He has some simple questions, and I'm supposed to say I don't know anything about it." He said, "No, Joe, what you want to do," and he said, "I'm telling you this because I made the same mistake, and most people do." He said, "What you want to do is call your friend up, tell him you're excited about this business you've been used to. And it's okay to share your mom's story and some of your excitement, but then before he can ask a question, you say, 'Look, I know you're going to have questions.'" And the greatest thing about this business is that you have coaches who help you. And, that's what I did from then on. And as I shared earlier, that first month, we had 9 people who joined us in the business. So apparently what Pat told us worked, because none of those people were as close to me as my friend Bob. But I think that's absolutely key, that you use, and your upline, the person who's introducing you, is the first element of our success system. So, I think a lot of people get hung up on that at the beginning because they think they're bothering their upline. But believe me, they get rewarded for working with you. That's how you build a huge organization, is by actually investing in people. And that's what Pat did for us. And that modeled for us what we were naturally, he didn't have to teach us, he did it with us. And so that's all we knew. And that's what we did. And I think that's really the main reason we've grown such a large organization, because we bought into that concept. And then as we did it, other people bought in, and other people, not everybody. We get one thing we have to remember. People get down sometimes because, I was down after my friend Bob told me no, or that he didn't think he could do it. I think one of the things we have to remember is that this is something new to people. And we are not in the business of convincing people. Then you have to become a salesman. And most of us are not salesmen. We're in a people finding business. Just go out and talk to people. And when somebody turns you down for whatever reason, they're not turning you down. They just don't think it's the right thing for them. Who loses? You're already using the products. You're already in the business. And so you just move on until you find the person. And you know what? Someday later, that person might come back. Things change in people's lives.
I was just going to say, you talked about mindset a lot, and I think that you made me think of that when you asked that question. And as we really saw this in the beginning, we saw that this was our bridge to get from where we were to where we wanted to be. So kind of naturally, we saw that everything we did on a daily basis was like a plank in the bridge that was going to get us from where we were to where we wanted to be. And so I think from a mindset standpoint, we started to think of this, even though it wasn't reality yet in the physical, that we saw that this was our future. And this is where we were really full time. And our other job, even though we did our jobs accurately, but we looked at that as a part time temporary situation. And I think that's really important because, you either treat your business with total commitment or kind of midway and kind of casual. And you're going to attract people that are committed if you're committed. If you're toe dipping, they tend to, just hang back because they can sense it. Believe it or not, you cannot fake it.
Mm.
And but it was just reality for us. We were in love with the vision of it. And that's what we shared with people. We shared in the beginning, we didn't have a story, so we shared Pat's, and like Joe said, you got to meet Pat.
Mm.
That was a big, I think, pivot point
Mm.
too.
I think one of the challenges are that when people come into our industry who've never built a business themselves and they come in with a completely different mindset, and so they have to, because if you have the like Joe was saying, his friend had a perception, he couldn't do it because of that. And when your perception is a certain way, then your opinion about what you're doing is going to be a certain way, your attitude is going to be a certain way, and ultimately that affects what you do. And so I think what you said is really powerful in terms of your attitude towards your business was this is your business. You're going to treat it like a proper business, not like a little hobby on the side type of thing. Yeah. I mean, you
And
go.
go ahead. I'm sorry, Jason.
I was gonna say, you obviously you guys have been building for a number of years, and you've got so many experiences with Relive and stuff. What keeps you still excited all these years down the line?
That's easy. It's the people. Every person is a new adventure. Everybody's unique. Everybody is like a snowflake. They're unique. They have gifts. They have talents. And the joy, really, from the beginning in our business, is about seeing other people shine. And I think that's another big part. You're not a big, boss or anything like that. You're a mentor.
Mm.
And I love what our sponsor always said, the credit belongs to the people in the arena. It's a Teddy Roosevelt quote that you can't take credit even though you sponsored them. It's like a parent. Your job is to provide a great environment for your kids to grow in, but they go on and they accomplish things. That you can't take credit for that. And we know that, Joe and I know that, because we've sponsored a lot of people and shared the same thing with them. And a smaller selection of them really take to heart and action and do it. So all the credit belongs to the person in the arena, the person that does it.
Mm.
And Jason, the majority of our check has come out of three lines. Excuse me. The majority of our check has come out of three lines. And but to find those three lines, you have to kiss a lot of frogs to find the prince. To go back to your question that Carol answered, I like word pictures because I think it relates to people. And I don't know how many people over in Europe ever hunt mushrooms. I know they got to have mushrooms there because I've eaten mushrooms there. But if you've never gone mushroom hunting, it's quite an experience, really, because you go after a rain and you go out into the woods and you start looking. I mean, normally you walk through a woods, you're not looking for mushrooms, but you really focus on looking for them. And once you've seen one, they get easier to see. And then it's almost, you've got a time schedule where you got to be somewhere else in a couple hours and you're out there. And I'm telling you, you almost have to drag yourself away because it's so much fun because now you can see them. And I think our business is a lot the same way. Once you've helped somebody see the picture like you see it, just by plugging them into that system. Because again, we're not salesmen. It's just being real with people, because people can read where you're coming from. But once you've helped somebody do that, the next person, it's like hunting those mushrooms.
Mm.
I don't think we'll ever quit doing this. Why would I? I've got plenty of time to go skiing and do the other things I enjoy.
Mm.
So why would I ever quit doing this? Actually, on the ski slope, you can do it because you're riding up on a lift talking to people.
I know there's three things that are really, really important. Obviously, leadership is paramount in our business, isn't it? And then we also talk about keeping things simple and also duplication, because if you don't have duplication and simplicity, then it's going to struggle. There's a statement I heard a while back that if you can get a large group of people taking some simple actions on a daily basis, then you'll build a massive business. So, how have you approached building leaders within your organization, and what does duplication look like for you?
You know what? I think one of the greatest things we have is that success system. And Joe always has a saying of not everybody can make a movie, but everybody can invite somebody to a movie. And that's basically what the success system is. The first thing, as Joe said, is your upline. That's all we did in the beginning. It said, hey, you got to meet Pat Rogers. If we sold anything, we sold that you got to meet Pat. Anybody can do that. So that was the appointment part of it. The other point, on the Tuesday night is, hey, come watch this. And every week it's different, it's exciting, and distributors are either sharing their story or they are presenting. So it's building them to be able to move forward and duplicate that. We have the story Zooms, 15-minute story Zooms that people, hey, watch this. And we have training on Saturday. The beautiful part about that is just what you said, Jason. It's got to be beyond you, because if it's all about you, you go on vacation, those folks go on vacation, it'll never grow. It'll never, ever grow. So if you keep it that simple, hey, watch this, anybody can do that. And you know what? It's really true. The greatest thing we have in our business is the stories. Not any other company. They say they do, but they don't. So all we have to do, we don't have to get all scientific or whatever. All of that's done for us. All we have to do is say, hey, bottom line is, what are these products doing for people? What is this opportunity doing for people? Of course, that is how simple, that if you keep it that simple, if and it can't be about you, it's got to be about the other people.
Mm. Wow, powerful.
I think another thing in that same vein that I think gets missed because it is so simple. Sometimes we get so intense about wanting it to work and wanting to convince people as opposed to just inviting them to the movie. Because again, we're not in a convincing business. I think sometimes we get so intense, it doesn't look like we're having fun. And there's a coach in Relive that I've heard say this many times: if you're not having fun, you're done. But that's kind of a negative way of saying it. So I prefer the other way of saying it. If you're having fun, you've won. Because people are not having fun on their jobs. 99% of them. They are not having fun struggling to pay their bills. They're not having fun not being able to be with their families. I mean, whoever heard of not only mom, but dad being able to be home?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounds, our biggest challenge, it sounds too good to be true. But if you're having fun and you're using that success system, which will cause you to have fun, you will attract people. And it's just a matter of time.
Right. Okay. Maybe there's somebody watching this interview, maybe live or maybe on a replay, and maybe they're doing their due diligence into really, they haven't made a decision yet, they're kind of on the fence and stuff. I mean, what would you say to them? Why is now a right time to get involved with our company?
That's a great question. I would say, in any business, there's a momentum factor. And Joe mentioned cell phones, so I'll take it back to there. And it's like one of those old weight scales. And in any opportunity, at the beginning, there's only a few people that see it. The rest of the people down here are looking at these people. And so there's like maybe two people up here take cell phones. And we saw them, that only a very, very few people had it. They were big, they were bulky, they were kind of crazy, actually. Um, but it improved, and over time, there are a few more people that jump on here. And it's not an even scale, it's just at some magical point, the people down here look at the people up there and say, wow, this is going to go. And they jump on board. It's true in any opportunity. And we are at the what I call the sweet spot. We've got enough history. We've got 14 countries that we're in. But I tell people, I give them a challenge, talk to 100 people. I'm shocked if even a handful of people say they've even heard about us yet. So that's in any opportunity where you want to be. What you want to do right now is build a network. And that network looks like a big old fishing net. And the bigger your network, when that momentum wave hits, they're going to come somewhere within your organization. So now is the time to build. I mean, we've got it all. We've got the number one thing, which is freedom. And if you don't believe that people are more interested in their finances and their lifestyle than they are their health, they go to work sick.
Mm.
Second thing is weight loss. You are a walking billboard, and just do your own test on that. Go out today and make a list of how many people that you see that need our Relive Fit program. And then the other thing is that you want those people around. They want to be around. You need preventative, you need real health results, and the weight loss is tied into that. So we got the whole package deal. We've got the support system, we've got the mentorship, we've got the phenomenal comp plan. Now is the time.
Wow.
And I would say Carol nailed it when she talked about, and we're not a weight loss company. I mean, Carol and I built our business with really, we had a meal replacement thing and it was good, but nobody saw results like they're seeing with Relive Fit. You turn on your TV set today, and in a half hour, you're going to see at least two weight loss programs advertised, and they aren't even good for you.
Mm.
You know, we have a weight control program, a weight management program it's based on our nutrition. It's based on cell repair. So, we are in the right place at the right time with the right products. I mean, we could not have a better opportunity than we have right now. Carol and I laugh, we're walking down the street or we're in the airport or a restaurant, and we'll be looking around the room, and one of us will say, you know what, we're in a target rich environment here, because you can just see 90% of the people out there need to lose some proportion of weight.
Mm.
And so we are in the right place at the right time. But it goes back to using that system to just expose people to it. That's what that system is all about. And by using that system, I go back to what we were taught at the very beginning. You build that wall of belief. If you go out there and try to be a salesman and try to convince people, bricks are going to start getting knocked out of your wall of belief.
Mm.
But if you use that structure, my hands are disappearing. If you use that structure to build that wall of belief, as long as you teach other people to use that structure, they'll build their wall of belief. It never fails. It's it's almost like gravity. It's always going to work if you know, are exposed to it.
Right.
And it's building that wall of belief that's so important.
Guys, I want to thank you. You've shared so much value today with us and insight into your journey. And people who are new to Relive are seeing the potential of what they can achieve themselves. And this is what it's about. I love one of the things that you guys used to say is that the biggest income earner hasn't even been recruited yet. And so I think that's such a powerful statement to know that there's so much more work to do. And as Carol said, go and speak to 100 people. How many people would have heard about Relive? And so we've got, as distributors, we've got a lot of work to do because there's a lot of people to be impacted. And I think that your interview today is going to go a long way to inspiring a lot of people in Europe to take the action. So thank you very much.
Jason, one last thing. There's nobody that would not join us if the right person came to them at the right time. And you shouldn't take it personally. You may not be the right person, or it may not be the right time for them. But if you just keep moving on to find the right person, the person that is going to pick up on what you're talking about, again, you're not convincing them. You know what? Sometimes you're going to find the person that will be the right person for the person that just turned you down.
Mm.
And that's okay. Now they're not first level to you, they're second level. And a good case in point, Betty Wolf, who became one of the top performers in this company, was not initially first level to us. We knew someone who knew Betty. So that it's just an important thing to understand. You might not be the right person, but you keep going, you'll find the right person.
The best is yet to come, and we're going to have a lot of fun together.
There you go. Perfect way to finish the interview. Thank you very much, guys. So there you have it, guys. You've heard from the best, the top income earners in the company are telling you the potential of what we have in your hands. And so we need to go out and we need to go and tell as many people as we can, because these products are having a massive impact on people. And if you know these products are working and you know people that need them, then I believe we are morally obligated to go out and tell people. And so just remember this, guys. We could have the best company in the world, the best products in the world, the best compensation plan in the world. But if we don't go out and tell people, we're going to have the best kept secret in the world. And that's not what we want. So let's go and help as many people as you can. Stay really strong. I'll be back in the next month with another Spotlight interview. But for now, I'll speak to you soon. Take care and God bless.